Have you seen what Sam Allardyce said about everything that happened last week?
Go on.
And the quotes he made. He said all those.
This is when he was sort of comparing himself to Guardiola and all that.
Yes.
Yes, and he's responding to those who
were laughing at him for saying that
Yes.
and mocking him. He said all those who criticised me sounded a bit thick when all I was doing was diversifying off the players onto myself, which was a great tactic that I picked up from Sir Alex Ferguson. So there was no pressure on the players because I took it all. I took all the stick. But there's none of that this week. It's simply focusing on Newcastle. So the thing is...
You're on your own, guys.
Loads of people pointed out that he was probably doing that.
Yeah.
Like there was a sense when Pep Guardiola responded that he probably understood that as well and was just moving on from it. And I like that he's been so arrogant about this. He's like a Bond villain pointing out his clever plan, isn't it? It's like he can't help but monologue.
Yes,
and that's
absolutely
like,
right.
You didn't get anything out of the game.
Like the old Bond films. They used to take Roger Moore around and go, so this is the thing.
Yeah.
If you wanted to spoil my plans, that's the off
Whoa,
switch.
don't go near that. If you go near that, I'm in big trouble.
Yeah, but you won't do because
I'm going to lazy your balls off.
Yeah, and one of your hands is tied behind your back, so it should be fine. Anyway, crack on. We're taking over the world.
Yeah, we're going to have lunch. You'll probably be dead when I get back, so. Great meeting you.
Yeah, exactly. The attention to detail was quite something back in those days. But we'll probably be up by the time I take my first training session. But you know what, though? I mean, if we have to be, in the interest of balance, a number of his former players have been saying this week that he is a player's manager. He makes you feel confident. The instructions are obviously very clear, which is what you need when you're in the mire. When you're in a relegation fight, you just need very simple, clear instructions to get out of it. But as I say, a lot of them have come out and said they really enjoyed playing under him. Morten Gamps Pedersen described him as humble, like a granddad.
I think that's the difference here, though, because going into this game, on paper, Leeds are terrible. Newcastle United have been very, very consistent this season. But before you even get to them putting a little bit of pressure on themselves by losing at home to Arsenal last week, the thing is, time is such a precious commodity, particularly at this point of the season. He has actually had a week to work with them now.
Yeah.
So you would assume that they will have at least some sort of structure and backbone, which they've really lacked for a lot of this season. I don't think they've lacked enormously in talent, but they've lacked a lot in organisation under various different coaches.
But that's where the simple tactics come in.
That's the whole reason he's been brought in.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if they're going to do it, it would be here. On the other hand, they could lose this and lose this heavily and still stay up, I reckon, if you look at their last couple of games.
Well, I mean, So, looking at the games, Leeds, they've got West Ham away after this, another club,
one, yeah.
And then Tottenham at home.
Draw off West Ham, beat a demoralised Spurs.
Yeah, well, I see.
Start
I'm
with 34.
I'm not sure, Andy. Looking at these fixtures, I actually think the teams that are in the bottom three are going to go down. Even though Everton have got Manchester City next, then Wolves away, Bournemouth at home. I think that Everton win, like a win, in that manner, in terms of.
Well, Everton are going to beat City this weekend as well. So,
I've put them down to get a point. I think Arsenal and Everton would very much settle for that.
Leicester are the ones really with the issue, aren't they?
Leicester are the ones with the issue. You're absolutely right. Forest, I think, they're 3 points ahead at the moment. Chelsea away, Arsenal at home, Palace away. Now that's tough, especially as old Frankie Lampard managed to find out how to win with Chelsea, which kudos to him for that. But I just think it looks pretty bleak for Leeds, to be honest. But if Allardyce can keep them up, if he can get, say, 4 points from these last few games, we know that they need a win, really. If he can do that, it would be
remarkable.
It is.
But the thing is, the teams that he takes over, and actually the teams he's always managed, are very much. He's one of those managers where the teams are in his image, aren't they?
Yeah.
And it's not just that they're tough; it's that they're so supremely confident. It's almost the opposite of fear.
Yes.
It's like they know something that you don't,
Yes.
and they're smirking at you about it.
Yeah.
And that is a really powerful thing. If he can get this Leeds team playing like the teams he's had in the past, when they've been really, really under pressure, like with Palace, like with Sunderland, when he's not had a lot of time, it will be a really formidable thing, especially against teams with less to play for. So you will be looking at West Ham and Spurs.
Well, they'll want West Ham to get through to the final.
Absolutely, they will.
Because again, the retention will be there. But the way you've put that, Jim, I totally agree with you. And that is kind of what some of his former players are saying, is that, we'll all joke around and he comes out with these sort of buffoonish comments and so on. But when you get to the training ground, when he's actually there, everybody knows exactly where they stand with him. They know their jobs, all those kind of cliches. Does he have is just
Has he got enough
time.
time?
It's
Yeah,
the time,
that's it.
really.
So what Andy said, yeah, there is simply not enough time. Even so, funnily enough, the media manager of the England men's cricket team was Allardyce's media guy at Bolton.
Right.
And he is fascinating when he talks about him because we all have our Allardyce jokes and he, basically swear by's the bloke.
Yeah.
And obviously during his time at Everton, he dealt with a lot of overseas players.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, his feel for people, he's never met anyone like that because, people from different cultures, different backgrounds, different issues settling into the country, other people who take to it a bit quicker, even just settling to the football as well. Just to go back to Andy's point, I just don't think there's enough time to implement any of that. I actually think he might as well swing publicly.
Well,
I genuinely do think that's the only way out of this for Leeds because they're not a robust team. They can't fashion themselves into his image. He can't fashion them into his image.
Yeah, it's not that they're not his type of players because they're from a cosmopolitan background. Because we've seen that he can deal with that from Bolton onwards. They've just not really got that grit. Have they?
Yeah.
When he goes into that Palace team, you can see players that he will gravitate towards and that will be able to carry out his instructions. I think without an extended period of time, it's very difficult to turn Leeds 180 in terms of what they are.
Yeah, because bear in mind you have to groove a lot of the way Allardyce plays, and to do that, you need them to forget about how they played under Bielsa and Jesse Marsch. And I appreciate there's not that much crossover anymore in terms of those players, but they're all ball players at heart, and they've all had been fashioned into ball players. It's why they find themselves in such stupid situations in defence now, because they don't look to boot the ball out. They just think, right, there must be a midfielder around the corner, so I'll just play it into the middle of the park.
Yeah.
Cheers for watching another fantastic clip from the Football Ramble podcast. Make sure you click like on this video and subscribe to the channel, which means you will not miss a single upload.